All right. Well, welcome you guys to our stress, sleep, and emotions continuing ed class. I'm excited to talk about this because this has been a really big topic of conversation that I've been having with a lot of clients and customers, and just with the state of our world. There's so many people that are really struggling with stress and how to manage it. And as a result of having stress, they're not sleeping well. And of course, that leads to just emotional imbalances and all the things that, we just need to have. We need sleep. We need sleep, and we need to live in a less stressful state. Okay, I have to pull up these notes. So after this class, you guys, we have two more topics that we will be going over. So those will be women's health, which is a really great class if you guys haven't caught that yet. And then essential oils and pain, and just how to manage pain with our specific products. And so if you are trying to get through all the 8 series to get your handmade bag from Bali, make sure you catch those. And then at the end of this whole conversation, you will find the slide that will give you the information to be able, it's the bit.ly link, I should say, that you can copy. And then once you've attended all 8 classes, that will make you eligible to get one of these bags. And we just love to promote this and attending all of these 8 classes because our goal, you guys, is just always to empower you guys with education. And that might sound redundant, but I hope that when you leave, you have that in your head that, yep, I know how to use most of doTERRA's essential oils. I know how to problem solve. You're able to recommend that to other people who are also in, or have some type of a pain point that they're working through. So that is the point of incentivizing with a gift, is that this goes out and that people are sharing this knowledge, and it's that ripple effect is happening. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, 0 being not at all, 10 being it's a really big, important problem, how often are you aware of being stressed in your daily life? And this can be from work, it can be from, family situations, it can be from all different types of circumstances, the circumstances of the world. It can be from just, the political drama that's everywhere right now. There's so many things that can bring up stress for us. And then how concerned are you about the quality and the quantity and the quality of your sleep? And go ahead and rate that. And then thirdly, how frequently do your emotions feel difficult to manage appropriately? Are you being triggered? Are there things that are just setting you off? And these are just some questions that you guys can jot down and think like, man, I feel like I'm being majorly triggered. That's definitely a 9. And I'm not sleeping well. That's definitely an 8. Or, and maybe the stress in your life is a 10. I don't know. You guys kind of rate yourself. And it is important to check in and see where you're at. Stress is one of the biggest offenders to our health and our well-being in general. And so when we're talking about all of these things, a couple of different systems in the body that I think it's important to talk about are our adrenals. Our adrenals, they produce cortisol. Cortisol gives us that fight or flight feeling. And when we're in a state of stress all the time, our cortisol is constantly being pumped out. And over time, that puts us into adrenal fatigue. And what happens is it throws those cortisol levels off. And because it's been overused, our adrenals have been being overused and stressed, they stop functioning properly. So typically when you wake up in the morning, you should wake up rested from your night sleep, and you should kind of have a burst of energy. Sometimes people feel their heart race a little bit, and that would be some cortisol that's being pumped into your system. And it's kind of, the sun starts to wake up your whole system, and it starts this whole reaction of our hormones. Okay, it's time to wake up, and we're going to go throughout the day, and you have energy, and that's how it should be, right? And you have a meal, and that gives you energy for that first part of the day, and then you have your second meal, and it's going to give you more energy, and so on and so forth. But what we're seeing is that when we're in a really stressed out state, people are waking up extremely exhausted. And then what's happening is they might, like be suffering all morning, using tons of coffee to keep themselves awake and all the different stimulants. And come, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they're just tanking. They can't stay awake. And what happens then after that is all of a sudden the cortisol levels start to ramp back up. And this is where we just see this chronic, and this is a symptom of chronic stress. We start to see that irritability. We start to see depression. We see headaches. We see insomnia. We see poor immune function and our increased blood pressure, right? Because all of these things are happening. But going back to that circadian rhythm that I'm talking about right now is all of a sudden you're exhausted, and then the evening comes and you have this burst of energy, right? And you're like, I can't go to sleep. And then all of a sudden you're up until 11, 12 in the night, and your whole system is just all out of whack. And so one of the things, our hypothalamus actually is this tiny little control tower in our brain that really sends, it's kind of the message receiver, and it sends out stress hormones. So this is a really important function that we have when it's functioning properly. And it really is, again, like the adrenals, it's designed to protect you and to give you those bursts of energies, because if there was something that was running after you, going to attack you, you need that burst of adrenaline to zip out of there, right? So what happens though is just, it becomes all out of whack, right? So we're not sleeping well. So in the evening, when we're supposed to be going to sleep, when the sun goes down, our body's natural hormone reaction is to start this slow release of melatonin. And the melatonin helps us to go into that calm, relaxed state, into that sleep state. And so what happens is all of a sudden this is all just so thrown off. And that's why we don't sleep well. And that's how stress directly and hormonally relates to not sleeping properly. And so some of our recommendations definitely for this from doTERRA are the Serenity soft gels and the Copaiba soft gels. Now, Serenity is going to help calm that nervous system and bring some peace to just that chaos, that busyness. And it's also going to help us to stay in a deep sleep during the night. Copaiba is going to help with those anxious feelings, and it's going to help to promote homeostasis and rest in general. And so these are two supplements that you can actually take together. And someone who is just, wanting to use them for maintenance, maybe you do sleep pretty well for the most part, but you feel like you need a little boost, taking one of each of these at night will help. And if you're really struggling with sleep, you guys, rather than grabbing some type of a sleep aid, it would be best to try 2 Serenity soft gels and 2 Copaiba soft gels, on top of really trying to change your evening routine. So some of you have heard me talk about this. We should actually be in bed early. And a lot of us, I am a night owl. I always have been. So for me, this is really challenging. But I also do sleep really well. So I feel like if my sleep starts to become very disruptive as I get older, then I'm going to have to make some changes. But something I've seen that's really shifted people's sleep cycle is to really calm their evening down. So rather than sitting in front of a TV for 5 hours in the evening, zoning out, looking at that screen and looking at that blue light, which is really disruptive to the melatonin production of our body, one thing you can do is, if you're not willing to turn that off, you can wear blue blockers. That's going to help you to filter the light from the screens out. Also, getting into bed by 9 o'clock. If you can get into bed by 9 o'clock and give yourself an hour to calm, the Calm app is a fantastic app that you can get on your phone, and it just has soundscapes. It has different stories that help your brain to quiet. If you are someone who needs some type of a stimulation, because some people do need that, I get it. But really creating a nightly regimen, and maybe even it's taking an Epsom salt bath and allowing the body just to decompress and rest, and letting your brain just rest. And some people find that meditation before they go to sleep is also really beneficial. So those are some things that you can add into this. Now, if you're wanting an alternative nightly regimen, adaptive soft gels combined with the Copaiba soft gels and the Yarrow Palm capsules also work wonderfully. Now, a key with using our supplements, and especially our soft gels internally, is to use them on a consistent basis. So if you are doing that first nightly regimen and you're feeling like, it's not happening, I would give it 3 weeks of being very consistent and taking at least 1 to 2 of each 20 minutes before you're getting into bed, and allow your body to recognize those constituents in these different oils. And in that, you're retraining your brain, you're retraining the neural pathways of your brain to calm and go into that calm state, which is going to allow you to sleep better. And using adaptive and Copaiba, some people just find more relief from our incredible adaptive soft gels because they carry so many benefits to our neurological system. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about adaptive in a few minutes, but this is just another nightly regimen that you can add, and you could do 1 of each. And if you're also just feeling like I need a boost, you can do 2 of the adaptive and 2 of the Copaiba before you go to sleep. And then the Yarrow Palm capsule 1 to 2 is also recommended. So these are just some ideas for you guys just to integrate into your regimen nightly. The hibernation roller. This is a roller that is great to make and use as well. It also works wonderful for children. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna combine 20 drops of each of these oils, and then you're gonna top that 10 milliliter bottle off. So our roller bottles, do I have one right here? Most of them are they're about 10 milliliters. You can buy smaller ones, but you're gonna put 20 drops of each, and then you're gonna top it off with fractionated coconut oil, and you're just gonna shake it all up, and then you're gonna rub it specifically on your feet, your big toe, because that's direct correlation to the brain. Those are nerve ending points that have direct correlation to the brain. Your heart, the palms of your hand, and then you can also apply it onto the pillow if you feel you need extra. And then what you can do is, after you've applied it into your hands, just take that deep inhalation. And I always recommend that people do 5 deep inhalations. Like, give yourself maybe a full minute of just really deep inhalation and exhale to calm your whole system down. So these 4 oils, frankincense is so calming, so soothing to the mind. It's very balancing for us emotionally. And it also has the ability to penetrate through our blood-brain barrier, which our blood-brain barrier is a really important part. It's actually, God created our brain to have this protection so things don't get in it. And so a lot of medicine can't penetrate through that, which is a really good thing. But because we know our essential oils are a lipid, and frankincense specifically is able to penetrate and support the neurological functions of our brain in such an intelligent way that it can help to calm that hyperactivity and calm the nerves. And vetiver is also a really powerful oil that has strong constituents that help to really calm the mind as well. But it's really similar to like a tranquilizer. That sounds kind of rough to say for some reason. When I say that, I'm like, but it's a natural tranquilizer. So this is a great oil. This is an oil, though, that I have found that if you haven't used it before, I would give it a couple weeks of using it very consistently every night before you start to feel the effects of it. Sometimes people's bodies have a hard time just identifying with the specific constituents, and other people don't. So I've just seen people say like, I'm still, and sleep is a hard one, because there's a lot of things that go into our sleep health and our circadian rhythm. But vetiver specifically is very powerful in supporting the calming and sleeping in, staying in deep sleep, but it might just take some time. And that's just what I've experienced with clients and customers. And then bergamot has the ability to calm irritation and stress, and it's also a natural sedative. And the Roman chamomile has calming and relaxing and soothing qualities to it. So all four of these oils combined really synergistically help to boost each other and support that restful state that we're looking for. So this is a really interesting kind of grid for you. So this is, we call it a mood matrix. And it's helpful to try and figure out what oils to go to when you're feeling fatigued or maybe even stressed, or if you're lacking passion, or if you're feeling just out of sorts and lacking peace. This is a great thing to look at. So you've noticed probably that some of our oils like have kind of conflicting qualities, like maybe something's uplifting, but it's also grounding. And it's just the different constituents that it has in it. And so this is like something that you can think about. And when you go to your maybe your Modern Essentials app or your Essential Life app, it's going to give you recommendation for, oils. So say you're feeling stressed, you could look up stress and it's going to give you a handful of oils. Well, you can, usually the first recommendation is one of the oils that most people, the majority of people have responded best to. And they've found, they've found a benefit or a relief for that specific symptom, right? But we're all bio individuals. We know that. And so what works best for me may not work best for you. So be comfortable with playing around with oils and figuring out what works best with your body chemistry, not just what I'm telling you you should use, but really start to do some research and figure out, okay, balance works better than elevation for me to calm my brain. And that's okay. That's just how your body chemistry is. But this is, I like this mood matrix because it kind of breaks it down. So if we look at it, you see, okay, so I'm feeling tired and I am lacking desire to anything. This would definitely lead you to citrus bliss, right? Which is going to help to invigorate the mood. It's going to help to stimulate you so you're excited to do something. It's also going to have that motivating factor. But if you're feeling stressed and anxious and maybe you have no sense of peace, then that's going to lead you to balance, which is going to be very grounding. And this is definitely one of my favorite oils. It's awesome. One of those oils that I first started using, and sometimes I forget about it and then I go back to it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really so grounding. So another oil that you can try, or I'm sorry, so let's see. Oh, Elevation. So Elevation is another oil. So if you're starting to feel, if you're feeling uninspired or unencouraged, or you're feeling just kind of depressed, Elevation is going to be an oil that you're definitely going to want to try and use first. So, and then lastly, Serenity is one of those favorite blends that everybody loves it. I think I have very few people who don't love the aroma of Serenity, but you could mix these all up too in your diffuser and just see how they smell and how you're reacting to them, and if it brings you a calming state. So it is good to check in with yourself. If you have felt, a specific way, you've felt really stressed out and anxious and you start using oils, check in with yourself 10 minutes later and see how you're feeling after you're using your oils. Because a lot of times people don't realize, like, oh my gosh, that really did set in really quickly. And so our oils, they work really well because they're lipid based. And they're able to penetrate the cell wall and really support our cells on that massive function throughout our whole body. So one of my favorite oils, moving on, in our collection is our Adaptive line. And I definitely, this whole line has been a game changer. I would say since quarantine has happened, and just the stresses that our family has incurred from all of this, the Adaptive soft gels have been just my bestie. I take 2 in the morning and sometimes I do take 2 at night just to manage my levels. And I feel like since I have been consistently taking them, I'm not feeling that rush of, like the heart palpitation with stress and whatnot. It's really helped to calm things. So, this was specifically formulated with neurotransmitters that help us combat stress and really to calm us in general. So something that's really interesting. According to the National Institute of Health, more than 1 in 5 people, adults, report regularly experiencing stressful situations that they need some type of assistance with, whether it's over-the-counter medication or prescription drugs or whatnot. So emotional and mental well-being really starts in our brain. And we have all these stresses, right? And we have all these things happening. So this is where this specific, these supplements and the oils are just so powerful. They have GABA. GABA is actually a neurotransmitter, and they have GABA in them. And they are, it's a chemical that facilitates communication with the brain and the cells, that back and forth. And GABA is actually naturally produced in the brain and is used to transfer information from other systems, I should say, of the body, specifically the central nervous system. So it is considered an inhibitory neurotransmitter. In fact, it's the most inhibitory neurotransmitter because it works by blocking certain brain signals and decreasing just that nervous system activation. So it's calming. So when things are stressful and they're coming at us, it's going to just keep that calm. It's not going to be in that reactive state, which in turn is totally affecting our cortisol levels and bringing the cortisol levels down, which we know cause so many dysfunctions when they're constantly firing. So the primary function of GABA is really to relate and inhibit the activity of the cells in the brain and the nervous system that are responsible for just that wide spectrum of that affects, I should say, the brain and the body altogether. So I know it's kind of sciencey, but it's important to understand what is in this and why it works. So it's going to help to manage our behavior. It's going to influence just our cognition, and it has this modulating effect to stress. And so it's going to help to just calm it and dilute it. And our body's response to stress. So there is definitely evidence that healthy GABA levels are important for proper immune function, which we know because high stress state really wrecks many of our systems. So, and a lot of times people who are in a high stress, they'll have all different types of hormone issues, which lead to weight issues and so on and so forth. So GABA just has a really important role in that whole function of managing stress well. And on top of all of that, the aroma of Adaptiv is really powerful. So for maintenance, I definitely recommend taking at least one of the Adaptiv morning, one at night. And then if you're in a high state of stress, then you can do 2 in the morning and 2 at night. And then if you are experiencing something right away that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm like just feeling this, maybe you heard some scary news or something came up where you're feeling stress, you can actually just grab that bottle of oil and just smell it right out of it. Or you can put a couple drops in your hand and take a deep inhalation. And that's going to help immediately to affect the brain and what's happening in the limbic system of the brain. It's going to bring those calming feelings right away. So it is important to have the Adaptiv oil on hand, but then for maintenance, be taking the soft gel. And some people love the roller, and the roller is wonderful for children and infants too, to help them stay in a calm state. So here are also some fun diffuser blends that you guys can just screenshot and try these out. And I love to set my diffusers on first thing in the morning just to set that whole environment and just get things calm and moving forward in a good environment. I have 3 kids and our house is hectic. So my mornings, I like to create a peaceful environment before everyone wakes up. So we start out in a peaceful place. So moving on, you guys, I have a few more things that I'm going to talk about in a moment. Some cool new promotions and a cool wellness track that we just released. But those of you who are unfamiliar with our loyalty rewards program, so I just told you about all of these awesome products, and maybe you have yet to set up your LRP rewards program yet. I want to just teach you really quickly how it works. Some of you have already heard this, but basically it's like a frequent flyer mile. So you spend 1 PB each month, you're able to keep that that cart open or that account open that is able to accrue points. And if you spend 50 PV each month, you're able to consistently, if you're doing it consistently, increase percentage and earn more points back. So months 1 through 3, you earn 10% off of each order, and you're going to get 10% off of your total order into your cart, plus your shipping as well. So it starts to add up really quickly. Now, if you spend 100 PV, then that makes you eligible to earn commission. So if you are wanting to share oils with other people and earn money from that, then you have to spend 100 PV. That's just what doTERRA has set. And then if you're wanting to be eligible for the free product of the month, then you have to spend 125 PV between the 1st and the 15th. So that's how you earn points. And going back to that 50 PV, you literally, if you are spending at least 50 PV each month for 13 months, which happens really quick, you guys, so just over a year, you get 30% off of your order back into your cart, plus you're shipping back every single order. So it's not just one order a month, it's off of anything that you order. So if you have like holiday list and you've been ordering for a year, you're gonna get, say you have multiple orders, you're gonna get 30% off of every single order. So you'll start to rack up the points. And it's awesome because you can you can use those points for oils that are more expensive, like frankincense, or maybe, what's another one? Melissa oil. So you can save them up for things like that. Or you can also save them up for things that you use on a daily basis, like shampoo, or maybe even the laundry detergent, or your soaps or whatnot. And so this is just a great way to save a little extra money. And you only have to spend 1 PV each month to keep it open. So there's really no point in doing a one-time order ever, because then you're not getting your shipping back. So the shipping already, if you just spend 1 PV, you get those points back. So shipping's free. So I don't know. I think it's always super worth it to talk about that. And then we like to put together little wellness boxes for you guys, just so you could see a couple ideas of how to create your monthly order so you do get at least 125 PV and get that free oil of the month. Obviously, we're the last week of the month, so you're not going to get that free oil of the month right now. But for next month, you can plan this out. So this kit specifically has our adaptive collection. It has the wild orange, which is a very uplifting oil. We have the Copaiba soft gels, which we know are very calming. Copaiba is also wonderful for pain relief. We have the balance oil, which is for balance. And then you'd be eligible to get the free product of the month. And then you're gonna get all of those free, depending on where you're at and how long you've been ordering for, you'll get those product points and your shipping back into your LRP cart. So just a great idea. And then, oh, you guys, here is the Symphony of the Cells protocol. This is awesome. Symphony of the Cells is just it's a spinal technique, and it's something that you can do if you're really struggling with sleep. Try having this done by your partner at night before you go to bed, every night, and see how well it helps you. This specific application, you're going to apply frankincense, neroli, rose, jasmine, then you're going to apply carrier oil, and then you're going to apply spikenard, melissa, then balance, Douglas fir, and then spearmint. And so the layering effect and the massaging it down the spine, and you can see it's very straightforward. You're going to apply it onto the hands, the rose and the jasmine, and you're going to take a deep inhalation. You see frankincense, that you're going to drop it on the neck and then down the back. The rose and jasmine, it's very straightforward. So take a picture of this and have someone do this, you guys, before you go to sleep, because it really works. But what it's doing is it's really focusing on specific systems of the body and these specific oils and their constituents, and that they're very dominant in, are going to help support your body to go into that restful state. So I love Symphony of the Cells. It's if you want to invest in some research and want to understand oils and whatnot, I definitely would highly recommend that you check into Symphony of the Cells. They have a website, and you can purchase their book, and they have tons of protocols for tons of things that we work through on a daily basis. Okay, so our promotions this month are, if you spend 125 PV, you would have gotten between the 1st and the 15th, a free clove oil, 15% off our Rose Touch, which is such a deal. And this month we have a 200 PV promo. So if you spend 200 PV, you're gonna get Digestin, Tamer, Calmer, and a peppermint, all free in your order. So if you, for some reason, have placed an order and it wasn't quite at 200, let your upline know, because we do have a code that you can go in and say you placed 175 PV order and you didn't realize that there was a 200 PV promo. You can actually go in before the or by the end of the month and place a 25 PV order, and you'll get all of that free. So it's a great little tip for you if you have missed that. Okay, so before I close, I wanted just to talk really quickly about our new wellness tracks that doTERRA has created for us. And they're going to be creating more with some more topics. So not only is this for our current customers like you guys, but it's for even new customers. So if you have friends and family who are interested and might be dealing with some of these specific pain points, this is a great opt-in for them. So the new people coming into doTERRA, it can be definitely, and some people who have been in here, maybe you haven't felt, maybe all of this continuing ed is new to you and you're like, I didn't know, my upline wasn't really telling me where to go, and you might feel overwhelmed, okay? And you might not know where to start. And so maybe you have like multiple areas, and we'll just use pain and anxiety as two of them. And you're like, I have pain and I have anxiety, and I don't know what oils to use or how I can use them all together. I don't know where to start. So we have lots of options, right? Which is great. But what I love about this specific program is it's targeted. So we're specifically talking about immunity, or we're specifically talking about pain relief, and we're specifically talking about mind and mood support, which is anxiety and stress. And so in that, you opt in to a 90-day support, and it literally drips out monthly. So you're going to get 3 different orders, and those 3 orders come out So once you opt in, so say you opt in to the immunity kit, then the first month I'll go over what you're going to get. The second month is going to be a different one, and the third month will be a different one. So it actually exposes you to all these different oils and products that we have that specifically support the immune system. And so you're actually opting into like a 90-day program that it's going to help set you up and be really informative as to how to use it, which I love is it comes with so this is actually the relief kit, and it comes with a full protocol, you guys, of how to use it, when you're going to use it, what each product that's in there is used for. And the first month you get a cool reusable bag. Each month it comes with something different, and a lot of them have these limited time only items in them. So that's pretty rad too. So only products that you'll get when you're a part of this program. So you have 3 different options. The immunity, which is going to support, or whatever, it's going to focus on supporting your immune system and strengthening it and strengthening that response. The relief kit for specifically pain and tension. So it's going to teach you how to use oils that are going to be soothing and bring support and comfort. And then we have the mind and mood, which is going to be really powerful for supporting the emotions and maybe that stress and anxiety. So it's going to bring balance and centering, and it's going to help you really to adapt to what's going on. So if you love these programs, you'll love this program, I should say, if you do feel kind of confused as to where to start or how to solve a specific health issue. If you're somebody who forgets to change their LRP each month, that's happened to me a million times over the years. This is great. You can opt into one, you can opt into all 3, you can opt into multiple. So say you and your partner are both dealing with immune, you can opt into both 2 immune tracks, and maybe your kid is dealing with some emotional issues, you can opt into that. So it's kind of flexible as far as how many, and you can mix and match those. You get tons of extra savings with this. You get to try just these limited time products, and then you'll know what you want to add next. And that's what I love, is it's exposing you to probably oils and different products that you probably wouldn't know to use specifically. Now, hopefully going through all of our continuing ed, you feel educated enough to know what to use and how to use it. And then if you're not wanting to spend a lot of money each month, I think this is also a really wonderful just price point. $75 a month, which I think is really a steal of a deal for these. So you can opt into that, and you're also going to be getting your points back and your shipping back for free. And then you can also add on, there's going to be specific add-ons that you get 20% off of. And you only get 20% off of those specific add-ons if you're opted into one of these programs. So pretty rad. And you know what? If anything, it's going to help you create simple routines in your day and feel just empowered to use these specific protocols and this natural approach to, whatever your pain point is that you're working through. So this is fun, you guys. So here are the different kits that you can see. So month 1 for the immunity, you can see that you get the toothpaste, and I'm not going to go through everything, but if you want, you can take a screenshot of this and see, and then also reach out to whoever you enrolled with and we can share the information with you. And then here is the relief kit. I'm so stoked on the relief kit because that massage ball, I had a rib that was kind of being funky a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I need one of those massage balls. And my daughter's like, there was one in the relief kit. And I was like, yes, it was so timely. And then here is the mind and mood track. And they are going to be coming out with more tracks. So I think that they're going to probably come out with a digestive track next, but who knows? I'm guessing. So here are the different programs that you can opt into. Isn't that cool, you guys? I love these. All right, so if you're catching this and you're keeping track of all of the topics or classes that you've been to, it's been a long day. Sleep is our secret word for our class tonight, and there is the bit.ly link. So again, take a screenshot of this. You're keeping track of all of them. And then what you're going to do, you guys, is once you have completed all 8 classes, then you're going to go in and complete the form and add all of the keywords or the secret words to that form at that time. Okay, and then before we go, we love to just share about our business opportunity. It's so powerful, but we really have 3 types of people who come to our classes, come to the continuing ed. And a lot of us are just so excited to constantly be educating ourselves on just improving our lifestyle and living a healthier, more natural lifestyle. And naturally, doTERRA supports you with just tons of education. You can go onto their website, tons of education, you guys, and you can just dive into whatever topic you're looking to learn more about. Or you can be in our continuing education community and learning more in that way. So we just love to support you with education in general. And that's just one of the perks that you get for being a part of our team. And then the second type of person just naturally loves to share the oils. They naturally just talk about them daily to their friends, their neighbors, and they want everyone to be using them. And they share their stories and how powerful these oils and these supplements are. And doTERRA really will reward that type of person just with giving you, you can get your oils paid for, you get compensated for sharing oils. And so when someone says, yes, I want to try that peppermint oil that you use for nausea or feeling, sick or for fevers or whatnot, and you can set them up with their order and then you get paid off of that. And so it's just such a cool, you get paid for sharing. And then there are those of us who really love to empower people with education and love to teach and really want to build and earn an income. And a lot of people during this time have lost their jobs, so they must replace their income. And so doTERRA has a very generous compensation plan, and it is phenomenal, I have to say. So if you are interested in all with sharing the oils or building, come to one of our Saturday classes, our business opportunity class, and at the end I'll give you a slide and you can just take a screenshot of that and just learn a little bit more about our business opportunity. So why doTERRA? Why build a doTERRA business now? Well, there's never been a greater need for alternative incomes, right? We've seen people lose jobs all around us, and people have to go on furlough or whatnot because of, this COVID and the quarantine. And who knows if this type of cycle is going to continue. But I say there is not a greater time than now to be starting to, if not replace, but just have an additional income stream coming in. doTERRA is thriving in our economy that has been kind of suffering, and we have a very sound business. It is awesome, and we talk so much more about that in the business opportunity call on Saturday mornings. And then people are excited to be trying natural things. They are ready to try natural things, especially after having the scare of, possibly not having, like this whole idea of building and boosting the immune system so we don't get sick. So there is just so much opportunity right now within that to teach people, and people are really hungry for information because conventional medicine is not cutting it. So some questions you might have is, how do I make money? Literally, you guys, these are simple steps. I'm not going to say it's easy, but these are simple steps. You sample people for their specific pain point, and then you teach them how to use oils and the products, just like we have been here. And then you set them up with their first order, you enroll them, and then you plug them into our continuing ed. And this is how we build this business. It's a beautiful community of supporting each other. And here are some fun just income potentials. You guys take a screenshot and I just dive into what these are saying. I'll just pull out a few. Silver, the rank of silver takes about 18 months. Down here, you'll see the average month to achieve. Elite would be 3 months. Premier would take about 6 months. That silver rank would take about 18 months on average. Now it's basically sky's the limit and you are your own boss. And so if you're wanting to hit these specific ranks, we call them, it's just how we organize our volume and how we get paid, then you can do that as soon as you want. And if you have a lot of passion and time to pour into this, this can become really successful for you really quickly. So it's really up to you and how motivated you are. So silvers make $2,200 a month on average. Our golds make about $4,800 a month on average. It takes about 27 months to get there. Diamonds make about $16,000 a month, and it takes about 42 months to get there. And then our top rank is Presidential Diamond. And on average, our Presidentials are making about $104,000 a month. And yes, it takes time. On average, it takes people at least 71 months to get to those ranks. And some people do it quicker, and some people it takes much longer. But I'll tell you what, consistency is the key in this business. And so if you're consistent daily, little by little becomes a lot, and it really truly adds up. So how much time is involved? 3 to 5 hours if you're just wanting to get your oils paid for. If you're wanting to supplement an income, then 5 to 15 hours a week. And if you really are ready to replace an income or create a new income, 15 to 30 hours a week on average. The cool thing is you can do this from anywhere. You can do it when you're camping. You can do it when you're on the beach. You can do it across country. You can do it in your home with your kids. If you're homeschooling, I understand. I am a homeschool mom, and I've been building my business at home since my kids were little. So really there is no excuse in all of these. You can build a business from home and do all the things, because that's what we do, right? So yes, this can work for you if you love oils and you love just natural things and a natural approach. It's great. It would be great for you. And you do have to love people. It is important that you are a people person. If you're not, it will be hard. And if you like to follow a system, or you can follow a system and you're self-motivated, then this will definitely work for you. So the next steps would be to reach out to the person who you enrolled with. If you're catching this replay, then reach out to that person or me, whoever it is. And what you're going to do, if you have set up your wholesale account, then you're going to just upgrade it to a Wellness Advocate account for free. If you haven't set up an account, then you're going to set up your wholesale account first, and then get with the person who enrolled you, and we'll figure that all out. And then from there, we plug you into our trainings and we support you. And then the fun part is that you get to start making a list of all the people that you want to share these oils and these incredible products with. And we love this business. We have so much fun, you guys. I'm so grateful for just our whole community. It's so awesome. So here is the business opportunity presentation slide. If you're at all interested in sharing the oils, even if it's a casual right now, you guys, I highly recommend you watch this and come to it on Saturday. So again, here is your keyword. If you want to change the world, you have to empower people. That's the only way you make any permanent, effective change on the world. And that's from our CEO, David Sterling. I love that. So, okay, guys. Well, if you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself. And I'm